Good evening, everybody. I'm Daryl Smith. This is my cohort, Mr.
Christopher Picard.
And of course, we're Film Banter.
Episode 123.
This is where we like to banter about films. We like to talk about movies because that's what we do. That's why we're here week after week after week after week after week, 123 times. So, well, let's see. We had an interesting week.
Yeah, it was the 4th of July.
4th of July,
I had
course.
a birthday this week.
You did have a birthday.
On
you
Sunday.
Oh, gosh, I was supposed to buy you dinner tonight.
I totally forgot.
I totally forgot to.
Well, you can buy me dinner next week.
I'll buy you dinner next week. There you go.
We're going to go to a steakhouse. Huh?
We'll go to McDonald's, and I think that'll
dollar
be
menu.
Huh? Yeah.
Anything off the left column.
Yeah, anything on the yeah, right. But you can have that apple pie if you want.
All right, thanks, and burn my mouth too.
Yeah, there you go. Boy, they are hot,
They are
aren't they?
magma,
Magma hot.
as my
yes.
friend likes to say. They are definitely
very good.
really molten hot.
Let's see. Do we have anything really relevant? We weren't here last week, of course. We took a week off. Chris had 2 weddings that he had to shoot.
Yes, I'm a videographer.
Completely ignores our beloved show to shoot these weddings.
There's no way that I could possibly have done the show. I wasn't done till 11:30 at night.
Well, I'm just saying, you ignored our show to do these weddings.
I had to. Got to make money. This show's not making me any green.
We don't make nothing here.
We're spending green to make this show.
We are spending green.
We just invested in these new chairs, damn it.
We did.
These director's chairs.
Well, we needed these chairs.
This is great, though. This is going to be much better than those squeaky bastards.
Those squeaky bastards just were constantly. And as we would get more propelled into our conversation, they would get more squeaky.
Yeah,
and,
the more we moved, you know.
Precisely indeed.
And then you would slowly, a lot of the times, inch your way almost out of the frame.
Really?
Yeah, because you're
know
animated and you move around.
I am an animated human being, even though I don't really like animated films.
I know.
It's really a shame in a way. There's
so
much I'm missing.
The Pixar ones they're almost. It's not like they're not animated, but they're so well done, and a lot of the humor is definitely aimed at adults. That it's a tolerable thing to watch.
Well, the Pixar films are
they're standard.
They're a step
above the rest.
I
would agree.
And then again, we had that. What was that film, Mamunya or whatever? That was the Hawaiian film with The Rock.
Oh,
Mamunya, wasn't that Mamunya?
Momoa, right?
Momoa.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. That kind of animation.
I don't think that was Pixar.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, I think that was one of the other companies.
It was like a Disney or something.
Well,
Pixar is Disney.
Disney owns Pixar.
Correct.
But there's other companies. DreamWorks does their own animation.
So they do.
And then there's
DreamWorks did
the company.
Nemo?
No.
Finding Nemo?
No, Nemo, that's all Pixar. Yeah, Pixar, yeah. But then there's the DreamWorks. That's all Pixar.
Okay.
But then there's the company Blue Sky, which is located in Connecticut. And they do a lot of work for, I believe, Fox. They did all the Ice Age films.
Oh, interesting.
And a bunch of other.
Okay.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I believe was there.
Yeah.
But nevertheless.
Who did Up?
That's Pixar.
That was Pixar?
Yeah.
That was a great film.
That was great. Yeah, that was a very poignant,
why don't they do more films
sad
like that? Yeah, it was sad, but we get films so geared towards kids.
I know.
If we had an adult, let's say they remade The Descendants, or they remade Tears of
George Clooney movie.
Well,
which I love.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say they remade Terms of Endearment as a Pixar.
Well, I'd love to see something like that.
It might be
I would love to
interesting.
see an R-rated animated film.
There you go.
Something like Sin City kind of almost felt like animation.
Yeah.
But a serious toned film.
We did
that
have
happens
one.
To be animated.
We did have an R-rated animated film many years ago called Heavy Metal.
I was just going to bring that up, from the 80s.
Yeah, Heavy Metal.
Which had an all-star cast.
It did indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, great music too. I remember Cheap Trick and Van Halen were in there. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that movie was
fun.
Kind of ahead of its time, but it wasn't a big hit.
Wasn't a great film. We also had the Lord of the Rings, the Ralph Bakshi.
Yes,
we also had Fritz the Cat was X-rated.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was I think the first X-rated animated film.
Mm-hmm. And then there was one other one that I forgot at this moment, but there are a few. But it has such potential with animation.
It does indeed.
Anything you want.
I think people would go see these movies easily. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they wouldn't be geared towards kids, and I think that is the primal audience, and they're so geared towards making their money off the kids,
of course,
who want to see all these cute.
How to Train Your Dragons and other ones.
Exactly.
Kids. But you know which one was good was the Pixar one from a couple years ago, Coco. That was
I love that film.
Kind of a darker,
that was a
serious tone kind of
went
thing.
Into the world of
the afterlife.
Right.
Yeah, that was a fascinating movie.
Little Mexican.
That really took me by surprise.
I love that film.
Yeah, I did too.
It was a great little piece of work.
Although it shouldn't have won Best Song. That was not the best song of the year. The Greatest Showman, This Is Me should have won.
Well.
That was the best song of that year.
That's very true. I agree. Yep. And of course, you just saw Mr. Jack Human.
That's true. That's happened, I think, since the last time we did a show.
Yep.
Yeah, my wife and I went to go see. For
Madison
those
Square
of
Garden?
you that might not be familiar, Hugh Jackman is doing this world tour. It's a song and dance show. It's called Hugh Jackman, The Man, the Music, the Show.
The man, the myth, the music.
And he does an amazing job. This guy is so honest. He's just so animated. He's so full of energy.
He is.
He does songs from the movies that we know, the musicals that he's done. He does songs from some of the Broadway shows that he was in, most significantly The Boy from Oz, which is the Peter Allen story.
Of course.
Then he does tributes. He does songs from shows that influenced him as an artist.
Oh, like what?
For example, he did a whole set of kind of like the standards, but from musicals from like the 50s. So he
Sunrise, Sunset.
No, he
Fiddler
did
on the Roof.
not that, but he did Luck Be a Lady Tonight from Guys and Dolls.
Luck Be a Lady
He did the whole
Tonight.
singing in the rain. He did a whole tap dance.
Well, no kidding.
Yeah,
Hey, that'd be
he did a
interesting.
tribute to Peter Allen, who was the figure that was the Boy from Oz
Man
was
from
based
Oz,
on.
of course.
But he did other stuff that he had done too. He did that song that was from Arthur. I don't know if it was from Arthur 1 or 2, called Between the Moon and New York City.
You're right. That was
he had
by
written
Christopher Cross.
And he had
originally.
written that song for somebody else or whatever. I forget who. Peter Allen, I guess, wrote that song, but another artist performed
Well,
it.
Christopher Cross
Performed it. Yeah, but Peter Allen wrote it, I guess.
Okay, that's
and so
very
he did a
possible.
tribute to that. But he also did some
That's
cool
a great
stuff.
song.
It's pretty catchy.
No, it's a good little song.
He did a lot of spoken word where he would introduce certain things. He would tell a lot of stories from his life. Kind of told his life story in a way. He did this beautiful tribute to his wife, pictures of her, and talked about their romance.
Was she there at the time? No.
But I know that she was at, I believe, the Friday night show.
Oh, okay.
Because we went to the Saturday afternoon matinee show.
Oh, how
But
many
he-
shows were there?
3 at MSG that weekend.
Interesting.
2 Saturday, 1 Friday. And he's doing, this started in Europe. Now he's doing a States tour.
Right.
After this, he's going over to Australia, New Zealand, all those islands over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's coming back to finish the tour again in October in the States, doing one last little leg.
Wow.
But it's 88 gigs, I believe, altogether, dates.
And the bearded lady was there.
Yes, that was
She
kind
does
of a.
the This Is Me.
It's a surprise, but everybody did. It was kind of advertised, so it wasn't
Oh,
really
was
a
it?
surprise.
Okay.
But yeah, Kiala.
Did she
Sharp?
have the beard on?
No. No, but
you never
I
know.
forget her full name. But she was there. She did the "This Is Me" from
Right.
Greatest Showman.
It's a great song.
And tore the house down. It was great.
Great song.
And they had local choir, like there was the Harlem Youth Choir came up and did a thing.
Oh, wow.
He brought people on stage
Like.
for a really fun thing. Somebody from the audience, a random guy.
Oh, I see.
That was a pretty nice moment. And it was a great show. We loved it. It was 2.5 hours.
Wow.
15-minute intermission.
Really?
The place was packed.
Jeez.
But the seats were very tight at MSG. Very tight.
Yeah. Well, it's
But what
not
are you
one of
gonna
my
do?
favorite places
It's
to see
not either.
anything.
No,
Oh,
it's
I
not
don't
my
like
favorite
it.
venue. No.
It's like an air carrier chamber. You know,
it
it's
kind of is,
literally
yeah.
like a
The
hangar.
place is a freaking maze.
It is, and it's just god awful. And you
Yeah.
want to, and there you are up. You know, St. Peter meets you when you get. to
Yeah,
the
well,
top
we were in the
tier.
top tier.
And-
The second from the top tier.
And then you got to go to the bathroom. Oh,
well,
forget
luckily for us,
about
there
it.
was a bathroom right.
Oh, was there?
Yeah,
Oh,
but I was
well,
in the
that's
middle.
new.
I was in the middle of the aisle.
They didn't have bathrooms up top before.
What was cool is that there was a little concession stand up by us.
Oh,
We
nice.
didn't have to go to the main area,
Good.
so it wasn't as mobbed.
Okay.
But we were in the middle of the row, and we were crowded on both sides. On this group was a whole family of larger people.
Really?
So I couldn't even move. I could barely even fit in my seat.
Big pants.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I was like this. I couldn't even do this because, unfortunately, they were taking up the seat a little bit. So whatever.
Wow.
But then on to left of my wife, there was a trio of women who were progressively getting drunker and drunker as the show went on.
Oh, no.
And videoing the entire show. It was getting kind of frustrating,
Oh, that
distracting.
is horrifying.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying. But overall, it was a wonderful show. We had a great time, and I recommend it. And I just have so much more respect for Hugh, as if my respect couldn't be
Well,
high enough for
the
Hugh.
man is amazing.
He's a great guy,
but,
and he's so.
So it was sold out. The show was. Sold
I don't know
out.
if it was sold out, but it was packed.
It was packed.
Yeah, it was
that
very crowded.
Generally means sold out.
And it was so hot outside that day too.
Oh, was it?
Oh, it was
But it was
brutal.
cool inside.
Inside it was very cool, which is nice.
Yeah.
But you know, we had to walk a bunch of blocks. We were dripping
Yeah.
sweat afterwards. But it was a great show. Good
Yeah.
time. We loved it. And I would recommend anybody to go see it.
Well, let's get to our show.
Let's go to our roster tonight.
let's
I'll
get
tell
right
everybody
to
what
it.
we're going to be doing. We're doing Spider-Man at the top of the
Spider-Man.
show. We're going to be then doing Yesterday, which is a film that's in theaters.
Also.
Also in theaters is the action film Anna. Then we're going to do a couple films that are available for home viewing on streaming platforms. We're going to do Stockholm, which is at the end of the show. And right before that, we're going to be doing a film called, which you might have noticed.
Daughter of the Wolf.
Yeah, Daughter of the Wolf. You might have noticed it on Netflix briefly, Daughter of the Wolf. But for now, we're going to start, as advertised,
Start with Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Far From Home, the second Spider-Man film starring
Tom Holland.
not counting his appearances in the Avengers films.
Correct.
And Captain America,
I think
Civil
Tom's
War.
going to be around doing Spider-Man for a long time.
I'd say he's going to be
He's
at
got
least
such a young-looking face.
He can grow into the role.
Yeah, he really will.
I'd say we'd get at least 2 or 3 more with him.
I'd say
Easy.
maybe 3 or 4.
That'd be nice.
I think they're going to stick with him
because I think
for a
he's
while.
the best Spider-Man. I
Do
like
you?
him the best.
You know, I really love Tobey Maguire, though. I love those films.
I like him too.
Sam Raimi made those
I
back
thought
in
the
the
third
early
one was a
2000s.
mess.
Well, the third one was a little bit strained.
Yeah.
They had kind of run out of
Well, they were
stuff.
trying to do too much for that one.
Yeah.
To cram too much.
Well,
Although I
that's
like the
true.
Sandman. That was cool.
Oh, I like that too.
But the movie was
That was
not
what's his name?
Thomas Hayden Church.
Thomas Hayden Church. But I loved and Doc Octopus, of course.
That was part
the
2.
Second one,
great. Which is probably one of the best superhero movies ever.
that was a great
part
one.
2.
That's the one with Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, that was a great
he's
film.
hanging
Yeah, that
upside
was
down.
probably great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Chris, did I like this film?
I hate this game because I always get it wrong. I'm going to say you did
I did like this film.
because I loved this film.
I thought it was terrific.
I thought it was
I
a
really did.
blast. We
No,
had
it was-
such a good time watching
It's a
it.
great piece of work.
I think it's better than the first one. As
no
much as I
question.
like that one
Oh,
a lot,
no question.
this is 10 times better.
It is 10 times
It's
better.
pure entertainment from head to toe.
It really was. The first hour was almost perfect cinema.
Mm-hmm.
It just had a great flow. It
Yeah.
was funny. It was cute.
It was.
It just had
It was awesome.
a great warmth to it.
I agree.
I really enjoyed
Me
it
too.
right from the get-go.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, the Jake Gyllenhaal character, I found that whole thing extremely preposterous. I mean,
Well, it's kind of, without getting into the
I
spoiler
can't get
territory,
into the spoiler,
it's
but
impossible technology.
exactly.
Almost, you know?
It is impossible. And also, you have to say to yourself, what's the point? Why is he even doing that? He has this thing going on, and no big spoiler here. He wants to shake hands with the Queen. He's kind
Yeah.
of putting on a show.
Yeah.
For what? What's the end result? I just sat there going to myself.
Well, his character wants to be the next Iron Man. That's what he wants.
Yeah, but he's creating a negative flurry
I know.
to do
Well, because
such
he's
a,
demented, in a way.
I just.
But I thought the
I thought it was
character looks
preposterous.
cool. He looks cool in this
Well,
movie.
I like Jake so
Me too.
much.
He's
I'm so
excellent.
glad to see him finally in a big
I agree.
A-list stream
I agree.
film because
Yeah.
he really deserves it.
Yeah, Sam, again, big part.
Big part
I didn't
for
know he
Sam.
was going to be that prominent.
And Colby Smulders,
Smulders
of
is
course.
also...
But they seemed like their end of the Avengers. They're just reduced to a two-person team now, which
You mean S.H.I.E.L.D., the S.H.I.E.L.D. representation.
Well, the S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, they only
representation.
focused on them, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, normally there's, they're in a big
know.
control room and there's 20 monitors and there's 100 people. No, it was just him and her the whole time.
Well, they went to a headquarters in one scene. We have to assume there's other agents there.
It just felt very, very.
Well, it's a
kind of-
very meta look. It's very focused just on the macro, focusing on just him and her.
felt very pure, just low key,
Yeah.
dollar wise, like they don't have any money left to spend, and
Yeah.
so it's just it's Nick and Colby there. I love Marissa Tomei in this movie.
She was great, and I love the
Beautiful.
little flirtation with John Favreau, who plays
Right,
Happy,
right.
who's got a nice part in this movie.
He does indeed.
And I like that this movie, as expected, it takes place in the wake of everything we've seen in Endgame.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I liked all the little details they get into. Like they talk about the blip. Anybody who left and then came back after the first and second Avengers, anybody that was disintegrated
Well-
and then came back, they call that the blip.
Make that clear.
I thought that was
because
cool.
In, of course, the
Yeah, I just
first
did. I said
Avengers.
anybody that disappeared and came back.
Well, yeah, but it's.
They know what we're talking about.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
If you've seen the Avengers,
If
of
you've
course.
seen the last two Avengers
People all
films,
disintegrated due to Thanos. He
Yeah,
gets
he
all
destroyed
five,
half the world's population.
Gets all 5 stones together. And almost all the human Avengers. No, the human ones.
some of the human ones disappeared too.
disappeared too. Yeah.
Spider-Man
yeah.
disappeared. Yeah.
Well, Nick Fury disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, all the human ones. It was the ones that had like Thor. He survived. The Hulk. He
Well, Captain didn't
survived.
disappear. He survived.
He survived.
And he was human.
And yet, at the very beginning of this, I don't remember Scarlett Johansson being one of the casualties of that last film, and yet she's
No,
mourned.
she. Well, if you
Was
haven't
she?
seen spoiler territory, if you haven't seen the last Avengers film, Endgame.
Right.
But no, she died. Remember, she had to jump, sacrifice herself.
Oh yes, that's
when
correct.
they were with Red Skull.
Oh God, yeah. You're right.
But this movie does. Regardless, this movie is in the shadow of Endgame, and the loss of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And Iron Man looms large over this movie.
It really does.
It's
and
a big
like
theme
that.
with that. Me
It
too.
almost felt like an homage
pays tribute. I agree.
to the Iron Man character,
which I love.
I did too. I really enjoyed this.
I mean,
film
honestly,
so much.
that's a big loss because he was the core of all the Marvel films from the beginning, 2008.
Absolutely true.
You know,
I don't know why they had to kill him off. It just seems silly to me. Maybe they'll bring him back as a hologram or.
Well, I think part of it
something,
was I think Downey was getting tired of doing it.
Yeah,
I think so. I know Chris Evans was tired of playing Captain America.
Well, yeah, but I mean.
But I think Downey was getting tired of it, and though it has to evolve eventually.
Endless shoots and. So did you like the cappuccino?
It was good. I meant to say it was very good.
You finished it?
I did.
Oh, good.
I gulped it up. It was very good. Yeah, good cappuccino. But regardless, this is a very good film.
It really is.
It's exciting. It's funny.
I have to say one thing about it,
very
too.
entertaining.
This almost went into Salvador Dali visuals at a time.
You're talking about some of the beasts?
No, I'm
the
talking about
elemental
some of
monsters?
the surrealism that we go into. There's a lot of almost like dream sequences almost that are kind of, not dream
I
sequences.
see what you're saying, yes.
But
I know what you're
there's
talking
a lot
about.
of sequences where everything's shifting,
Yes. I know what you're
visuals
talking
shifting
about.
constantly. Suddenly he's on a subway.
dream
suddenly
world,
he's I mean, it just was so creative.
That was really well done.
I was blown away. It
Yeah.
happens twice. It
Yes, it
happens
does.
about halfway through when he's well, we have conflict between him and
Yes.
what's his name, the Jake Gyllenhaal
Yes.
character. What's his name again?
Mysterio.
Mysterio, of course. But yeah, I thought it was. I was blown away. I just thought this movie was so well made.
It was. I agree.
It was so well.
And it was
just-
done. I want to give homage to the director, John Watts,
Yeah.
who did the last one also.
Did he?
He's doing a great job. Yeah,
Really
and-
is
And
amazing.
then before that, Spider-Man, the only feature he really did was this movie Cop Car with Kevin Bacon, which I didn't really care for that movie much.
What
it was
you
about
talking who did that?
the director of this film. His
Oh,
name is
before,
John Watts. He did the first Spider-Man,
Okay.
the last one, and then this one.
Well, he found his genre because it was
Yeah,
great.
because that Cop Car movie I didn't care for at all.
Absolutely.
But this was excellent. This is really one of the best, in my opinion, Marvel films. I loved it.
I agree. It was great. It was.
It
fun.
was such a
was
good
kick.
time.
I was surprised that they made little Zendaya is in this film, of course,
Yeah.
from The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, I love Zendaya.
You know-
she's in a great show which I mentioned to you, Euphoria on
I know,
HBO.
on HBO.
Check it out. It's a dark show about drug addicts.
I was very
but it's
surprised
good.
how shabby they made her look. Constantly through the first.
Well, you know why? Because she's kind of a tomboy. That's what they're going for.
Oh,
Tomboy.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she
yeah.
looks
It's not your
shabby. She-
typical Mary Jane.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
She's a
sex lie.
beautiful girl.
No, she is a very beautiful little girl, no question about it. But I was surprised they just kind of really played her looks down. I mean,
Yeah.
they could have made her a little bit more
Yeah.
appealing and attractive, but they chose not to until the end.
And
after
then
she flies through the air.
When she gets cleaned up, well,
she
he
gets
says to
cleaned
her,
up,
"You look
yeah.
beautiful."
Yeah.
And then she makes a joke. She's like, "Why? Does that make me have value now?"
Right,
you know.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, little Me Too
Exactly.
hashtag. But
I just think he is
yeah, it was fun.
spectacular.
No,
Tom
he was
Holland,
great. He was
he's a
very
great
good.
actor.
Yeah, he's got
I
that
think he's
humble-
very good in this role.
got the humble thing going on very
Yeah.
well, and he plays it well. And
He does.
Yeah, he got a huge standing ovation. I think it was on Jimmy Kimmel not long ago. And people
he's
really,
really
are
good.
taken to him.
Yeah.
He's very good. He does a great American accent. And,
Yeah, he does.
It's a really
All
fun
these
movie.
British
You can't
actors,
go
man,
wrong
they
with
just
it, so.
they do that American accent so
I
well.
know, especially Australian people.
Yeah.
They really get it nailed. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
And British people also. But
It's true.
Jake is great in this film. I'm
Yeah.
really glad he got some airplay. I also liked the black fellow who was in this. He's one of he's one of the guides who's taking the kids around. With,
Oh, that's J.B. Smoove.
J.B. Smoove.
He's
yeah.
if you haven't seen Curb Your Enthusiasm, he's in that
exactly.
show.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
great.
Well, he's been around for a long time.
He's been around a long time.
And as soon as you see him,
He plays one of the teachers that's like chaperoning the kids' trip
He
to
does.
Europe. Because that's the whole movie. We didn't even mention. It's Spider-Man going on a science trip to Europe.
Right.
And at the same time, Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson, wants him to help them with this situation they're having in Europe at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a struggle between him wanting to just have a vacation, but feeling obligated to be the superhero.
There's Jon Favreau right here.
Jon
Also,
Favreau.
the director of the new
Lion King. It's
King.
coming
He
out.
did the Jungle Book
Yeah, he's
last
busy.
year. Now he's doing.
And
really-
he's the godfather of the upcoming Star Wars TV show, The Mandalorian,
Oh, is
for
he?
Disney's streaming platform that's premiering in November.
Okay.
I think he directed the pilot and is overseeing the entire series.
Interesting.
Has a big cast of people in that too.
Yeah, very good. Very
But
good.
this is a fantastic film.
It really
I loved
is,
it from beginning to
it
end.
was terrific.
I really
I
can't
have to
recommend
say.
it highly enough.
I wasn't too thrilled about seeing it, but as soon as I sat down, I just
too.
was
Got sucked in.
brought into the comfort zone
Yeah.
of movies. I just loved it. I gotta say,
Excellent
I
film.
really thought it was terrific.
I agree. Definitely check it out.
Yeah,
And
absolutely,
it is a big screen film.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No question. I did an IMAX on that one.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I just saw regular presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
No 3D. I'm
No, I'm not
staying
into
away from
that.
the 3D
No.
lately. I really
Yeah,
am.
I don't watch that.
Well, the one thing about 3D is that when you put those glasses on, it makes everything darker.
Yeah.
You know, there's a darkness that prevails, and I don't like that. I'd
agree.
rather my own brightness there. So let us move on
But
to
yeah,
yesterday.
I saw Spider-Man yesterday.
Ah,
When did you see it?
I saw Spider-Man Sunday.
Oh, okay, you went on my birthday.
I
Beautiful.
went Sunday on your
Cool.
birthday. Yeah, gee, I wished you a happy birthday on.
Yeah, on Facebook. Yeah, you did. I
did.
saw it.
I did
No, I
indeed.
responded.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry about it. I don't.
Well, you always buy me something. Well, I did buy you a book last year. I bought you
Yeah, you go.
Robin
Yeah, because
Williams book.
I did something with friends last year. This year, I
Yeah.
just went to dinner with my family.
Yeah, I wish we would have done the dinner thing. We
Yeah.
could have gone down to one of the Brazil
I wanted
places.
to, but it was getting too hectic, and this person was away. These people were doing this, and I'm just going to keep it simple.
Okay.
Anyway, yesterday.
Moving on to yesterday.
Yesterday, for those that might not be familiar, this is a film directed by Danny Boyle, who is one of the most talented filmmakers working today.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Slumdog Millionaire,
all
the Train Spotting
Trainspotting
films, 28 Days Later. He's got a very interesting filmography. 127 Hours.
Yep.
Steve Jobs. A movie that not many people know about, but is awesome, is called Millions. It's about these two little kids in Ireland or Scotland, I forget which country, that find a suitcase full of money. And it's all about what happens after that. Awesome little
Oh,
movie.
really?
Check it
Wow.
out.
Okay.
But this takes place in.
Didn't
in-
he do? Did he do that movie? Oh gosh. No, I forget it. I can't quite.
Well, he
think
also
of it.
did Shallow Grave.
That's the one I'm thinking
The
of.
Beach with
Criterion
Leonardo
film.
DiCaprio.
Oh, I hated that.
See, I love that film. It's
Did
one of my
you?
favorites of his.
Ooh.
I love that one.
Oh,
The
not a
weakest
fan.
film, in my opinion, that he's done, and I still don't think it's a bad movie, is A Life Less Ordinary with Ewan McGregor and Cameron Diaz. It was
Oh.
early. It's one of the first films he did after Trainspotting.
Oh, gee, I don't know.
Big studio movie that was not that great.
Okay.
But he's still a very talented guy. This film takes place in England. It's about this gentleman here who is not really a successful singer, songwriter. He's trying, he's not really making any progress. And then there's a massive worldwide blackout for 12 seconds. We don't really know why, it just happens. And in that moment, he's on his bicycle. When it happens, he gets hit by a bus. When he wakes up in the hospital, he suddenly starts learning that there's a lot of things that people don't remember. Most importantly, nobody knows who the Beatles were.
Right.
They don't remember the Beatles. They don't remember their music. Nothing. And he sees an opportunity.
Also, the band Oasis.
Oasis. Well, no,
They
Oasis.
disappeared. No.
Oh yeah, they
They
disappeared.
disappeared, and Coca-Cola,
Coca-Cola
disappeared.
I thought it was funny. Nobody knows cigarettes. He's like, what? Cigarettes? Nobody knows about.
I know that.
That was
seems
kind of
bizarre.
funny.
Yeah.
But it's like all memory of these
Maybe it
people
was
were
the
erased.
word cigarettes.
No, because he Googled cigarettes, nothing
No,
came
no,
up.
but it could be the word. It doesn't necessarily mean they just could be calling them something else. In England, they call cigarettes fags.
Fags,
anyway.
yeah. Well, anyway, he Googled cigarette. What came up was a town somewhere in France. But anyway, so he sees an opportunity to start performing the Beatles songs, and he starts getting out there as if this stuff is his.
A repulsive plot, in my humble opinion.
But it's a fantasy
Oh, it's
movie.
just repulsive.
It's a fantasy.
It's an excuse to make a movie using Beatle music, and here's the guy. He looks like the guy from The Big Bang Theory, Kamal Nunjabi or whatever his name.
Kamal Nanjiani is the guy from The Big Sick. Different guy.
Oh, okay, but still,
Yeah.
I gotta say,
Well, he's a
this,
Pakistani
though.
actor. He's great.
He was wonderful.
He's got a good voice too. He's talented.
got a great voice.
Yeah.
He sings. I love Kate McKinnon.
I thought Kate McKinnon was great. So anyway,
She was
so he
terrific.
becomes an international sensation.
He does.
Because people are like, oh my God, you're the most talented songwriter ever. You're going to change music forever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He starts going, exploding. And one of the people that comes into his life that kind of is blown away by him is Ed Sheeran, who then convinces him to change Hey Jude
Who
to
really
Hey
plays
Jude.
a bit of a jerk in this.
He's
stuff.
kind of jerky,
yeah,
cocky.
He is
yeah.
kind of cocky.
And then Kate McKinnon plays an agent from LA who wants to take him under her wing. And she's just like business, money, that's it.
She is a
heartless kind of an asshole.
human being.
Does a great job too.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, she's great.
Kate can do anything.
She's awesome.
Yeah, I love her.
But and then the whole film it also talks about his relationship with this young girl played by Lily James.
Of course, the girl that
lovely.
has been in his life his entire.
She was his manager.
His entire life since he was 7 years old.
Exactly.
And they've always kind of had a brother-sister relationship, and now suddenly he's writing these songs he sings "In My Life" by John Lennon. You know, there are places I remember. Da, 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 da. And she now is attracted to this new sensitive songwriter.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where her love for him.
Well, she kind of hints that she's been waiting for him for 20 years.
Well, she says at least for the last 10.
But she can't go and become his manager any longer because she's actually by day a school teacher.
As was he.
As was he. He left to try to make this a career.
Right.
So he goes out to LA, the whole world, you know, fawning over him.
Yeah.
He's got, you know, this other guy that he uses as his manager who's kind of like a bumbling guy. And so this is just about his conflict of, I just feel like a fraud because this stuff isn't really mine.
Exactly.
You know, but yet he's captivated by this whole situation. And
well, it's a chance for him, and also
it's the only break.
And then, and it's also a chance to bring the Beatles' music.
Yeah, exactly.
Into
he
the
feels
limelight,
obligated. Yeah.
And now, well, he doesn't really.
In a
He
way.
still feels guilty.
He does.
Still feels guilty, but you know, there's money, there's fame.
I know.
You know, the dangling
Of
carrot
course.
is there, and he's just debating whether he should do it. And then he says, "Okay, the heck with it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just going to do it. I love this music. I'm going to do it." There's some great moments there where he's trying to remember the lyrics to Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
I thought that was great.
That was fun.
I really thought that was great, and
They
of
did a
course
lot of
I
clever
know the
stuff.
lyrics
Of course you
perfectly.
do.
So you know, as he's going, donning her socks in the night, and I'm going, no, that's Father Mackenzie.
Yeah.
That's Father Mackenzie.
Writing a sermon that no one will hear.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Writing the words of
They did a lot of clever things, and I want to say that this film was written by Richard Curtis, who wrote Four Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill.
Okay.
He wrote
Some of the greatest-
Love Actually, one of my favorite movies.
I love that film too. I love Notting Hill.
Yeah, Notting Hill, that's a classic as well.
Yeah.
And there's a few other big About Time he did with Domhnall Gleeson and I believe Rachel McAdams was in that film.
Correct.
And he's also been a screenwriter for other big films too. So he's a very talented guy, and there's a lot of clever ideas in this script.
Absolutely true. I have to point out one thing. I started to tell you this story, and then you said, no,
tell me a story.
Tell me on the show.
Yes.
Well, I sat in, of course it's Tuesday, so, you know, the Q-tips in the audience.
Well, my screening too. I was one of the younger people in
It
that.
was packed.
Mine wasn't packed.
Mine was packed.
10 of us altogether.
I'm kid you not. This was a smaller theater, packed to the gills.
I'm sure.
I literally had to use the ticket that I bought on my
to get your
on
actual
my A
seat,
list to get the actual seat that I picked out on the app.
Yes.
So I had to sit in seat H4. And I actually went and I just sat down at a seat that no one was sitting in, and the guy says to me, "No, that's not yours.
See, that's why I
wife's
always
coming.
take my seat."
So, and you know, then sure enough, this little white-haired lady comes walking up. I sat in the middle of two ladies who were wearing some intoxicant, and I mean, I couldn't breathe.
I hate bad perfume
I couldn't breathe. The perfume was thick, concentrated.
Rough.
Jungle Gardenia by Tuvache.
Yeah.
As I recall, Bob Barker used to give away on the Truth or Consequences when I was a kid, man. But oh, geez, that was horrifying.
Oof.
Horrifying. I literally had to watch the show like this, you know.
Oh, that's awful.
Just breathing in the air, you know, through my fingers.
Mm-hmm.
It was so horrifying. One woman next to me, oh my God, it literally broke my heart. Her husband, is not going to be long for this world.
Oh, no.
And he had to go to the bathroom about 3/4 of the way through the show. And, you know, we're all watching, and everyone's kind of, you know, as the Beatles songs are rolling out, you know, and the jokes are happening. Paul McCartney was in this film. Did you see him?
I didn't see him.
I didn't see him,
I don't
but he
think he
makes a cameo, yes.
I didn't see him.
He's
Where?
in the film.
Where was he?
I have no idea. But
I
he's
didn't see him
supposedly
anywhere.
in the film. I thought it would have been perfect when he goes to the house.
Well, that's what I thought was going to be the case.
I thought that was going to be Paul.
Yeah.
But they did a beautiful job on that.
I thought that was a wonderful moment. Yeah, that was great.
Oh
Without
my
spoilers,
God.
there's a
I
beautiful
can't give
thing
it
they
away.
do at the end.
They do.
It was just the right idea.
It
for
was
that
the right
scene.
idea, and it was so.
I believe that was Robert Carlyle, by the way.
Robert Carlyle from
Trainspotting and from a lot of other movies.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
I think that might have been him. I didn't look it up.
He
but
plays one of the
somebody, yeah.
Fabulous Four, and
Yeah, it was very
I'm
well
telling you,
done.
it was very moving, and I have to be honest, I had a lot of tears through this film.
It's a very touching movie.
I just felt the music was, he sits at the piano, and he's so good.
He's so good.
He sits at the piano. Ed Sheeran, for some assholic reason, says, well, okay, let's go off for 10 minutes, and let's see who can write the best song.
Oh, I know.
He's trying to be a real
He was trying
jerk.
he was trying to hold on to the fact that he was great. Yeah,
he's trying to humiliate our little guy here. So Ed comes out and plays some little ditty on his very cutesy guitar love type song, and then he sits down and sings Long and Winding Road.
Beautiful.
And he slowed it down. He did it so beautifully.
He did.
I was so impressed with just the musical. I love the scene at the beginning where he and Lily James playing his manager. Here she is, the lovely
she's
Lily.
gorgeous.
Check her
She's
out.
so
in
good.
Cinderella.
She's so lovable in this movie.
Yeah, she's lovable.
And by the way, I'm correct. That is Robert Carlyle. I knew it was
Okay.
him.
Also, I love Lily James in Baby Driver. She played.
Yeah, she was great in that. She played the waitress
terrific in that.
girlfriend of
Yeah,
Angela.
she's the waitress
Yeah, that's a good little
girlfriend.
movie.
I love that.
I enjoyed that
But
film.
Lily is just so wonderful. But they do at the very beginning. He's he's throwing out these songs that he's just trying to remember all the lyrics.
Yeah.
There's no way to you can't Google the Beatles anymore.
Yeah.
When you Google Beatle, you come up with the actual
Beatle.
scarab type.
There's a
Beatle.
scene where he's thinking that this is crazy, this can't be happening, that nobody remembers the Beatles. He runs to his collection of vinyl, goes to the Bees,
Yeah,
and there's
he
no
goes on
Beatles
all the
anymore.
Bowie albums,
Yeah.
and it's true. It was very well done, and I did not want to see this film.
I know. Well, like I
was
told
so-
you took offense to the premise as a Beatle lover.
I did. I took offense to it because it's an out and out commercial grab to, and in a way I respect the fact that we want to pull in a younger audience to see and hear the Beatle music and so forth, but. Just the whole thing just seems so ridiculous to me.
But in a way,
a world without the Beatles.
But in a way, it's a tribute to them too.
Well,
it's
it's a
really what it
tribute
is
to
at
them.
its core.
Yeah, but it was
you know?
just so stupid. It was so silly.
Really, I didn't
Just-
have an issue with it.
I did. I
just thought it was a
just
fun
felt,
fantasy.
Come on, this
you know,
this is so ludicrous, and why are they even doing a fantasy like this? It's just to capitalize but they won me over.
as I predicted, I knew
He
it would.
won me over, and
Yeah.
Lily won me over, and the direction of the film.
Danny Boyle was always.
I'll tell you,
really
the man
smart filmmaker.
really has a Midas touch.
Yeah.
In matters of the heart.
Yeah.
He just zooms right in on what's going to affect you, and
Yeah.
I think in that respect he's
And
very
he
good.
uses zooms really well. There's a couple scenes where he's got his trademark zoom on a character. It felt like
Yeah.
train spotting a couple times.
Okay, there you go.
But yeah, I just
He's got great artistic design.
does.
There's always every shot has great color and managed, just everywhere. He's just got great people working with him, behind him,
does.
Etc. But I like the film a
I
lot.
adored it. I
was
loved
very
it. It was
moved.
one of my favorites of the year so far.
I was very
I
moved
really
by it.
enjoyed it.
I can't say it was one of the favorites of the year, but I enjoyed it very much. And
I'm glad you did.
I thought he was terrific.
He was very good.
Our main
Yeah, his
star
name is
here.
Hamish. What is it? I like
Yeah, I
his-
saw it. It's the first name that pops up.
Himesh Patel.
Yeah, it didn't even say Danny Boyle film at the end, I believe. The first thing we saw was his name.
Yeah,
could
it
be
just
wrong.
said directed by Danny Boyle.
Oh, did it?
I don't know if it said a Danny Boyle film. There was minimal credits in the beginning. Minimal.
No, I'm talking about the end of the film. The first thing I remember popping on the screen is his
might have
name.
been him. Yeah, I don't know if it said a
Yeah.
film by Danny Boyle. It might have. I think it must
I
have.
don't think so, but
Really?
maybe it did because, I've got a sense, I always know when a film is about to end, no matter what. Well, mostly because I'm looking at my watch.
Of course.
And I know exactly when it's going to
Yeah,
end.
well, you can tell usually.
And, you can always just wind back 5 minutes before the time
Mm-hmm.
of the film because of credits. And if it's a big Spider-Man movie, oh my God, you've got, 10
list-
minutes of credits.
Oh, by the way,
12.
did you stay for the credit scenes?
I stayed for the first
Me
one.
too. I didn't know there was going to be a second one at the end.
Well, there always is. There's always one at the very end.
I know. But
And all you got to do is go on YouTube and
well,
see.
I already figured out what it was. My friend, I read it on the trivia.
Oh, you did?
But my buddy had seen it, and he said, "Oh, yeah, there's a great cameo in the post-credit scene." So I didn't know that meant that there was also two. I thought there was just one scene. Otherwise, I would have waited. I thought his implication was there was only one. But
Oh, no. There's always two.
not always.
Every
Sometimes.
Marvel movie.
Not always. There was one I saw recently that only had one.
Which one?
I don't remember, but
Oh, I disagree. I mean, in the Endgame and the Avengers films, they've always had the two. Right after they give you the cast, they give you
Yeah.
the blah blah blah. Very quick. It's only 3 minutes in. then you see the first scene.
I don't know. I feel like there was a movie I saw recently that was a Marvel that didn't necessarily have two.
And
Whatever,
if you,
doesn't matter.
If you missed that first scene in Spider-Man after the credits,
well,
that's a vital little thing.
They put the important one first usually. Yeah, exactly.
Well, they did, and it kind of changes the setup for the next film.
And I read what the second one was, so okay, I get it.
You tell me later.
I'll tell you off the show.
Is it something vital or?
It's not that big.
Is Nick Fury in it again?
It involves him though.
It's always Nick Fury.
It involves Nick Fury.
Why is that? They always put him
because
at the very...
he is the cog that moves from movie to movie.
I suppose.
He is the connecting piece that has basically built the universe.
As is now Colby Smolder. She's now
exactly.
part of that little S.H.I.E.L.D. world also.
She is. But anyway, Yesterday...
We can definitely give a positive
I loved Yesterday.
This.
I recommend it highly.
I do too.
You could wait till video. You don't have to rush out to see it.
It's not a big screen.
But it's a fun movie to see in the theater because the whole audience was moving their feet. Everybody was having a good time.
They were tapping away.
But I was definitely one of the younger ones in the theater.
Oh, I believe that.
Me and this other couple that were in their 20s.
Yeah, no,
they were all 60 plus.
It was a Q-tip convention before my eyes. There was just little white heads everywhere.
But if anything, you do realize what amazing musicians the Beatles were. I'm not a Beatlemaniac, but I respect what they did.
They barely touch upon the catalog of the Beatles,
course.
but my God.
Yeah.
You know, these are such iconic tunes. I can't even imagine. This is a very strange scene, that little James Corden scene.
It was almost a dream, I think. I think it was a dream sequence.
Yeah, he's
of course
constantly...
it was. Yeah,
but he does go to L.A., we know he goes to LA.
Well, he's supposed to go on Corden's show.
Exactly.
And then he has that dream.
Lily behind, and then suddenly he's being confronted that there's possibly... And we have those two people.
I like that, yeah. Without getting into
it too.
I like that. It was cool.
I liked it too. We have two people that are kind of following him in his journey, you know, and singing these Beatles songs, and they're going, "Hey, wait a minute,
you get the idea that they know that
they're like
a second.
They're like the music FBI, and they're going to come after him, and they're going to, you know, kind of crucify him.
It's interesting. Yeah, that was cool.
It is kind of interesting, and you know, it just.
I love his father. His parents were kind of like, in a way, kind of out of it.
They were like Freddie Mercury's parents.
Yeah, like I like how his dad. The big scene at the end where he's doing this big performance. He's in the green room, and his dad's like,
"Oh, that was horrible."
His dad's like,
"Do you have sandwiches?
Are you gonna eat those sandwiches?"
Sandwiches.
And he gives him the whole tray, and his father lights up.
Like, goes, "Oh, you made my day."
Yeah, a plate of tuna sandwiches made him happier than anything.
I know it was.
Silly.
It was kind of shallow and sad.
Yeah.
But this guy's great.
He's excellent.
He's dynamite. He, you know.
I gotta look him up and see what else he's done. I'm sure he's done
wears his soul on his face, and his face is.
He has really good expressive eyes.
He does indeed, and he does remind me of the guy from The Big Bang Theory, the Indian man.
I know who you're talking about.
There, but it's a great little film.
It's a great little
film.
The
supporting cast.
I agree. Everybody was good.
Lily really.
She's the anchor.
My God.
She's the heart.
She really is the. Well, he's the heart.
Yeah.
But she's the second heart. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, if there really is a pair, you know, it's a whole love thing, and the ending of this film, superb.
It is.
It is superb.
Ends in all the right
notes. You know, we could have gone another way. The world wakes up. The world comes to, and not to give anything away.
Yeah. But there's a predictable route that it could have went.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. And I love the non-conventional way that it just ended, and I felt satisfied.
I did too.
I just felt okay. I haven't been. They didn't. You know, they didn't ruin the film for me.
I agree.
By the ending that we probably would be expecting.
Exactly. I think a lesser screenwriting / directing duo might have done something.
Might have gone the other way,
yeah.
but they didn't.
I'm glad it didn't.
I am too.
Cool. Let's move on.
And it's definitely a film I will watch again.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to buy this movie. I love this film.
I may too.
I loved it.
I may too.
Okay, so now also in theaters is Anna.
Yeah.
It's another film by director Luc Besson, who has done La Femme Nikita, the Professional, also known as Leon.
Yeah.
He did The Fifth Element.
Did he do the Atomic Blonde? Was that him?
No, he had no. I don't think he had any involvement in that.
Okay.
Maybe he was a producer, but I don't think so. He also did Valerian.
This is my favorite scene in the film.
Yeah, that was cool. That was great.
Yeah.
He did Valerian. Luc Besson, very action-oriented.
Absolutely.
His films are generally very woman-centric. Lucy also he did.
Oh, I don't know if I'd say that.
A lot. Well, look, Professional.
Well, The Professional's out.
La Femme Nikita.
Okay.
Lucy.
All right.
Fifth Element focuses on Mila Jovovich a lot of the time. She's the MacGuffin in that film in a way.
If you would, well, not MacGuffin,
But she's the
that's
main
not the right
thing,
word.
you know?
Like Killian in here.
Killian's
I
great.
always love Killian.
But this is a film about a female assassin who is also posing as a model.
Exactly.
She's not only
lured into the model world
by the
She's
KGB.
She's a little Russian girl selling magazines.
In
on
a
the
way,
side
it's
of
kind
the
of like
street.
Red Sparrow we saw last year with Jennifer Lawrence.
Absolute, definite.
More
parallel.
action-oriented, where that was more like espionage thriller. This is more of an action film.
I love Red Sparrow. By
I
the
liked
way,
it
and
too.
good comparison.
Yeah.
But this is the action end. This is
the
the
action.
Atomic Blonde.
It is.
Meets Red Sparrow. Here we have Luke Evans.
Luke Evans, who's in everything these days.
I know. The man
He's a
is all over
KGB
the
guy.
place. He is.
Her love interest in a way.
Her love interest, absolute. Did I like this film?
I think you did.
I love this film.
I like this film quite a bit too.
I love this film.
I know it's not getting great reviews, but I enjoyed it.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
I'm
sure it'll be on Blu-ray in 2 months. You know.
I would think so too. Helen Mirren.
She's
plays
in this.
The ultimate.
Yeah.
She plays Lila Kedrova, who is basically Rosa Klebb. If you remember back in From Russia with Love, there was kind of a Russian woman who was quite evil.
Yeah.
And she had like a spike that would come out of her boot.
Oh yeah.
And she would just go pop, and it had poison on the end, and you would die. She's kind of playing that same kind of character. And she looks like Annie Leibovitz.
She does, the photographer.
Not Annie. Well, she looks like Annie Leibovitz, but she also looks like Fran Lebowitz. That's who I meant to say.
Fran Lebowitz. I know who you're talking
Fran
about.
Lebowitz is a writer. She
Yeah.
wrote a great book called Metropolitan Life back in New York. It was about New York City, and she's just a very insightful woman. She's hilarious. She's on Bill Maher.
I've seen her on there quite a bit.
Yeah,
I know
she's
who you're talking
wonderful.
about.
I
Yeah.
love her. She's
Now, is
amazing.
Annie Leibovitz, are they siblings?
Who?
Annie Leibovitz.
No,
no relation?
No relation whatsoever.
And they're both roughly the same age, it seems.
Probably so.
Same generation, I
You
would
know,
say.
you're absolutely right. Annie Leibovitz might be a little older.
She's been around a long time.
Maybe not, but Annie, of course, is one of the great photographers of our time.
They just did a whole spread in the new Vanity Fair of the on set of the last Star Wars film.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Annie's always, she did I have all 3 of her huge hardcover books.
Nice.
I adore her stuff.
She's great.
Let's talk about this actress for a moment.
She's good. Her
here.
name is hang on, let me remember it. It's Sasha Luss, I believe.
Is it? Okay.
Sasha Luss, yeah.
I thought she's excellent.
She's very good.
She's spectacular.
And she hasn't done too much. She's done a few things. This is gonna launch her, I hope.
Looks like a pretty face,
Yeah.
but when it comes down to the action scene, she's
good.
spectacular.
Yeah, she's good.
I mean, obviously, we have the flips and the this and
Yeah.
the that, the other thing, but man,
There's really just the one big action set piece where she's doing a lot of the hand-to-hand combat
in the restaurant.
And then the rest of the film is more just like
Well, there's a couple-
assassinations.
there's a couple
Yeah.
little John Wickian kind of moments,
Yeah.
if you would. But here she is as their mild-mannered. She's reading. She's
in a
selling
shop,
Russian
Russian dolls.
novelties here and selling
When
magazines.
she gets discovered to
etc.
be a model.
She gets discovered, and why don't you come to London and blah blah blah, and then she's kind of lured into that they're all sold into. If it's not sex slavery, suddenly they're in espionage school.
And it's like you have to put in your time of 3 or 5 years, and then
Yeah.
she feels trapped.
I like the way this looks. They make it look like she's got a penis kind of hanging down here, This is one of my favorite scenes where she's the model and she suddenly decides to go ballistic on the rude photographer. And here she has him pinned down on the ground. She's slapping and beating the shit out of him. I love
Then
it.
there's a scene with another
And she
photographer.
goes, smile, smile, that's the one, that's the one.
Yeah.
And she's snapping away and he's going, and she's kicking him and beating him and punching him and he's bloody and bleeding.
There's a bunch of
I love
musical
it.
montages in this film to some prominent music, and there's one where she first starts being a model, and there's that arrogant, obnoxious photographer that comes in. This is not music. Put on the song I want to hear, and he puts on like some '90s dance song, and then he's taking photos of her. Then we have the montage to the In Excess song, moving the story along.
Correct.
I thought it was a very, very cool movie.
Yeah, I really liked
it
it a
The only thing
lot.
I can say, it's not a complaint, it's a slight critique, is that I thought the gimmick of flashbacks was getting a little too much. Like we see a plot twist, and then it cuts to a title card. 3 months earlier. 6 months earlier. 2 years earlier.
Now we see that a lot in these kind of movies.
But this, I feel like in this one it happened 5-6 times,
Really?
I'm just like, another one. You know, I
No,
thought
it didn't bother me at all.
A little
I'm
old.
so used to it. You know, I'm
But
watching.
I still enjoyed it.
Believe it or not, I'm watching on Netflix right
I know
now.
you
There's a
told
show
me.
called Nikita.
Yeah, Nikita.
Which I've been watching.
Based on
and
his original
A
film.
lot of that's going
I
on
know.
constantly in that show. So
Yeah.
I'm so used to it. You know,
Yeah.
suddenly it's like 3 years earlier.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or 10 years
But we
earlier.
usually just don't get so many in one single film.
I suppose.
We get about 5 or 6 of these. Bless you.
God bless.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. I hope he does.
Yes. You know, it's
Please,
kind
God.
of outdated that our society still says that when somebody sneezes. That's based in old, like, ancient fear of the demons were going to come get you.
Well, it could be. It means the fact that you're letting
well-
your guard down.
Well, the fact that you're
You're
saying to
sneezing.
somebody, God bless you, like, it's based in old fear. You know, that's not current anymore. Bless you again. And then there's the other version, Gesundheit.
Well, that's the
Gesundheit.
German,
Yeah,
same
thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. But I think regardless, this is a really fun movie.
I love this movie.
I enjoyed
From
it.
beginning to end. I was totally entertained.
You'll be if you like Atomic Blonde,
It
you'll like
really
this.
was great fun. I thought it was slick.
Well shot. Luc Besson
yeah,
wrote
it
the
was
film
great.
too, as always.
Hour and
Did a
53
great job.
minutes. Worth every penny to me. I
agree.
I really enjoyed it a lot.
I was never bored.
Yeah, and she's just. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Well, that's a beautiful.
It's a great. I know. I love that shot when I saw it. Yeah.
It's just wonderful. There's
It's
just
cool.
a great.
There's Luke right there.
Oh, there's Luc Besson. There
Besson.
he is. Absolutely.
Used to be married to Mia Jovovich.
Did he?
He married her after he worked with her on Fifth Element.
No kidding.
And then they got divorced.
Can't say I blame
And
her.
then she married, and I think is still married to Paul W.S. Anderson, who directed her in Resident Evil.
Right. There you go.
But
Interesting.
yeah, there was
Here's
an interesting
her
lesbian romance.
Lesbian romance.
She romances men and women in this film.
Absolutely. She's a switch hitter from way back. And of course, here's Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
You know, she's kind of the hard ass
Yeah.
with the heart of gold
Kind
to
of,
some
yeah.
extent. I just like this film.
I enjoyed it too. I
really did.
recommend it. It's good.
You know,
Don't listen to the bad reviews because they
yeah.
don't have a sense of fun. This is an entertaining
It's
film.
really a good little film,
Yeah.
and I think it deserved to be released in the theater.
Yeah,
And I
I'm
think
glad it did. I'm glad I
I think
saw
it
it.
really deserved
Yeah.
a good audience. Now, unfortunately, it's like playing one time each
It's
day.
slowly fizzling
It's
out.
fizzling
I
out.
think
It's gone
by
away.
August 1st, it'll be a memory.
Oh,
Way
August
before that,
1st.
probably.
No, it won't make it to this Friday. Trust me.
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
only playing in one theater at one showtime.
See, I didn't look on this
Per
by
day.
me to see where it was playing and when.
If you
I
go
know it's
on-
still playing in my local theater. I don't know.
Me too. But only once a day.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's once.
That's
a
the
day.
kiss of death right there.
Yeah, it is.
And then this week we have Stuber opening, and we have a couple other things opening. So.
Even the film with Bill Murray, the Jim Jarmusch.
Oh yeah, that's
film.
gone.
No, that's
It's
still
still
playing.
Okay,
at,
I forgot about that. I wanted to see
Well,
that.
it's still playing at my 21 plex, the Palisades.
I would like to see that.
I'd like to see it too,
Yeah.
and that's playing like 5-6 times a day.
Yeah, I'd like to see
Still-
that one.
It's still full theater
Good.
rotation.
Good run.
But this, once a day, that's it. It just
bad.
didn't grab the audience, I guess.
It didn't.
It's a shame. I really could.
And again, it's
I mean, if
opening
you're
up
a
in the
fan of John
summer
Wick,
when there's
it's a John Wick, you know, take off to some extent,
Yeah.
like all these.
John Wick
Atomic
has now
Blonde.
reinvented this
The
kind of
standard.
action film.
It's the standard.
It
It's a
is.
lot of shots to the face, just multiple deaths.
I think if
everywhere.
you think about the evolution of the action film, it's evolved quite a bit from the 70s, where the 80s was all about muscle men. We got Stallone, we got Schwarzenegger, and then we had, in the 90s, late 80s to the 90s, we changed it to the everyman. That's where we got the Die Hard, and everything after that for a few years was Die Hard on the bus, Die Hard in the stadium,
Yeah.
and then eventually Speed, Die Hard on the bus.
Speed, yeah.
Then
exactly.
with Matrix in '99, everything was copying the Matrix style
yeah,
of action
well, the
sci-fi.
Matrix, and once
Yeah.
again with Keanu.
Keanu, yeah,
You know,
he was at the
kind of
forefront.
always
back
before,
then.
Yeah.
Then we went
Leading the way.
Then as we got into the 2000s, the Bourne movies became the standard.
Love them all.
Yeah, me too.
They were great fun.
And then eventually we get to Taken, which then after Taken, that became older guy
I know.
becomes the star doing the
or
close fighting.
Exactly. A woman has to go get her
Yeah.
her kidnapped daughter
Exactly.
out of sex slavery or
And Luc
whatever the
Besson
deal.
was the writer of Taken as well.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
And then we get
He
to
didn't
John
direct-
Wick.
did he
He
direct?
didn't direct it. No, it was directed
None
by
of them?
Pierre Morel.
Okay.
And then we get to
Great
John
fun.
Wick, and then Atomic Blonde.
I know.
So I'm interested
Suddenly-
to see what the next evolution is going to be in a couple of years.
I don't know
Yeah.
where else it could go.
I hit something. How do I get rid of that?
Okay.
I don't know how I
that
did it, but
should
I think I
just
la- I think I-
be,
Exit maybe? You're clear?
I would say this.
Display. Okay, great. But
I just
reg-
hit return.
Okay.
by the way.
Regardless, it's a fun film. I think
It is.
everybody will enjoy
We
it.
can move on.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Now we're going to focus on films that are available for home viewing on streaming
Well, no, we're not.
platforms. We have
yes, we are.
Daughter of the Wolf, which is on all of your streaming platforms at the moment.
There you go.
This stars Gina Carano, who is an actress who was a MMA star. MMA, mixed martial arts.
Okay. And she used to get in the ring and
literally
the
fight
cage.
the cage.
Right.
And now she's been in a couple films. This film also stars Richard Dreyfuss. He's kind of the film's, not kind of, he is the film's villain. Who's kind of almost slumming these days.
There he
in
is.
movies. There he is, and not a good
Rather
picture.
pixelated.
God,
yeah.
it didn't look this bad on my TV.
Well,
But I gotta forget, your TV is high def.
It is.
Um,
This is one of the worst films I've seen in just a
long
really
time.
long time. You know, I think she's quite lovely, and she has.
she's
a
not
good,
Meryl Streep.
Well,
She's okay.
She doesn't need to be Meryl
No,
Streep,
she doesn't,
But
but-
it's not her fault.
It's not her
This
fault,
was
yeah.
a script problem from word go.
Well, there's not much of a script, to be honest with
Well,
you.
yeah, but no, you've got to stay within the universe that you stay.
I know. Who directed this?
She's, I mean, you know,
David Hackle is the director.
Oh, well, there
and
you
all
go.
he did before this was TV stuff.
Okay.
And he did Saw 5.
I don't even want to blame him for this. This is a scriptwriter problem, I feel.
I didn't look to see
You know, we start out, her son has been kidnapped. Her father dies at the beginning of the film.
Yes.
Her son is now kidnapped, so we have Taken. We're Taken part
Yeah.
15,
Except
if you
it's
will.
all in the woods. In the
Right.
mountains in Canada or something.
Suddenly, and she's daughter of the wolf. There are wolves all around, and the wolves somehow have decided to befriend her,
Yeah.
and they've kind of taken her. Well, this kind of turns into it turns into a bumbling buffoonery film, almost for her right from the start.
Yeah.
You know, she has to go meet these guys at the very
Right in the
beginning
first
of the film. She's
do a
paying the
payoff.
ransom money to
Yeah.
get her son back. She's been contacted. We have your son, okay. We find out that it's all a grudge with Richard Dreyfuss, with her father, who has just died, and there's this back plot going on, etc.
He feels he was wronged by the father, blah,
She
blah, blah.
shows up at the ransom exchange. She's going to give him the money. They're going to give her the kid. Then they kind of, you know, well, we want to see the money first. And she says, no, show me my son.
Yeah.
And then, no,
It's the
no,
usual
no, it doesn't
ransom
work
gone
like that.
bad.
Right away, I'm going to myself, gee, the writing is bad. The acting is bad. This movie is just headed down a path I don't even know if I want to go. So she ends up killing everybody but one guy who she wounds. They're walking across a lake. Suddenly, splat, she falls in. He's standing 3 feet away from her, but he doesn't fall in. She falls in. She's, you know, ice cold, obviously. Would have killed anybody. Would have killed anybody.
Well, she wasn't in there that long.
Well, yeah, but still, you're climbing out. You're still in cold. Now
it takes some time, though, for the
cold.
hypothermia to get you. It's not that quick.
If you're covered in cold clothes, hypothermia, those clothes are now freezing on you because you're in a freezing cold environment. You can go into hypothermia just coming out of a lake.
You're talking about once she's out. I thought you
she's
meant
out.
she was going to die from
No,
the
no, no.
moment she was in the
She
water.
came out very quick.
Well, no, yeah, of course.
And
eventually.
he saves her.
Yeah, he does.
We don't even know why he saves her. She's already
Because we know
shot
he's
him
not
in
really
the-
like an evil guy.
He's not an evil guy.
He's a victim of circumstance himself.
Correct.
a
And
little
we
bit.
find out later there's a
There's
spoiler
more
that
stuff
we don't wanna
there.
give you,
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
But this movie just goes from absurdity to absurdity. I mean, there's a scene, of course, I'm going to mention it, where there's a huge, it's like a snow waterfall, if you will.
And
It's
there's a cliff.
just a mammoth cliff. I mean, this is huge. She's just a tiny little speck, and she falls off the top after this horrible chase scene on snowmobiles, where she, you know, her kid and she get thrown 80 feet, you know, he's laying there.
There's people in these movies, though, they always fight at a cliff.
Well, that's
It's
okay.
always absurd.
No, that's okay. And I thought that her adversary, the black lady, I thought she was okay.
She wasn't bad.
She tried to
She
do
did her
it the
job.
best she could, but oh man, this movie just...
Yeah, is it a great movie? No,
Literally
it's not.
falls. It literally falls almost every turn of
Yeah.
the film, and she just gets almost. It almost becomes almost slapstick to me. The way she just keeps screwing up, and the way she just keeps like falling here, falling there, you know. But she just keeps. She's a survival.
I know.
You know that's.
Well, we
the
learned
key to
she's
it.
ex-military.
She's
blah, blah, blah.
ex-military. She's coming back from the dead, literally. Where she, yeah, I mean, some of the scenes are ridiculous. She almost looks like Cindy Crawford here.
A little bit, she does. Yeah.
I think she's a stunning lady, and I think her looks kind of.
She works for
propel
a film actress. She's got a cool look to her.
She does.
You know, and
She
she's
does.
interesting to look at.
She is.
And she did her best.
I
But it's
can't
not-
blame her. I gotta blame the just the the people who put this whole film together and
See, I
mapped it
probably
out.
enjoyed it a little more than you.
No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean,
I found it
to me,
very
it's a guilty
watchable.
pleasure.
Yeah.
It's watchable.
It is.
It's not a great film.
No.
I thought Richard Dreyfuss was good, but he hams it up a little bit, you know.
Well, he does. What else is he there for?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, you could see better. You could see worse. We've reviewed worse
I
on
agree.
this show, that's
no,
for sure.
absolutely, 100%.
But
it
you know,
was kind of fun.
At times it reminded me of The Grey with Liam Neeson, but that's a much more superior film in my opinion.
Well, no
I
question.
love that film.
I know you do.
But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, it's okay.
It's
I
a
don't know if
throwaway.
I'd recommend it 100%.
No, this is bubble gum for the brain.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is. You know, you will, if you do put it on, chances are you are just simply going to sit and watch it to the end.
Yeah.
I don't see where you wouldn't.
It's not terribly long.
No, it's about an hour and a half. In fact, it's exactly 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But there will, you know, if you've got a brain, half a brain, you will laugh.
One thing
many scenes
about the
during
script
this.
that struck me too is like Richard Dreyfuss' character. At times he's like very low key and fair, like, hey, don't do that, don't do that. And then at the drop of a hat, he's like Mr. Evil, kill him. You know, like
True.
His character is all over the place.
I agree.
I think they needed another draft to kind of flesh him out a little bit more.
I think so too.
Yeah.
There was just I think this could have been a really good film.
Could have
This
been
a
good.
good
With another
3-star
pass on
film.
that script, you know?
Yeah, we just needed some tweaks, and
Yeah.
whoever wrote this script
Yeah.
and whoever actually green-lit it, you know, just to go into some, you know,
Yeah, I feel like-
mean, I hate to get so involved in judging a film on the background world. You know, we have to
But
judge the
that's-
film we saw.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's so many ludicrous turns in this. But I enjoyed it. I watched it to the end, and I found.
And what's a
it,
shame too is that not to cut you off, but when you look at how much work, time, energy, and money goes into making a film, it's a shame when they put all that effort into a script that's not as good as it should be.
Somebody pointed out I think it was the woman who directed. Was it Fast Times at Midnight High?
Fast and Ridgemont High.
Who
Amy
directed
Heckerling.
it? Okay, Amy Heckerling. No, it was. She used to be on Hill Street Blues. She was a blonde woman.
I never
and
watched
she
that
did
show.
a comedy. She did a couple comedies, and she was very, very funny. It wasn't Amy Heckerling, but anyway, I remember her specifically pointing out and saying it takes just as long to film a bad film
I know it does,
as
yeah.
it does to
It's
film
true.
a good film.
It does.
So why not just make a good film? But you know, sometimes you know there's no big star attached to this except Richard Dreyfuss, who's just simply doing B films these days.
Pretty
anyway.
much.
You know,
I think I don't remember the last time I saw him in a theatrical film.
correct. Well, we did see him in that film with Ron Perlman, Ash.
Asher, but I
Ash,
think that
which was
premiered
very
on
good.
streaming platforms. I
It
like
did
that
indeed.
film.
I liked it too.
I think the last big movie that I remember, and I'm sure it's probably not the last one that was in the theaters with him, but W, the Oliver Stone film about George W. Bush. He played Cheney. That's the last big
that's
movie
actually
that
good.
strikes me
No, that's a good
of
role
him
for
in the theater.
I could see him as Dick Cheney actually. That's
Yeah, but he didn't really have much to do. He
Well-
just stood there roaring the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Well,
didn't really have many lines.
That's kind of what Christian Bale did too. He
I
just
know.
kind of grunted and.
But you know what? You could watch this. You could skip this. You're not gonna be
It's not
missing
gonna
much
change your
if you
life,
do. Either way, it's not gonna change your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's
Is
move on.
any of the films we saw today going to change your life though?
Change your life? No, but I think Spider-Man is a hell of a lot of fun.
It's great entertainment.
It's great entertainment.
It really is great.
And
entertainment.
Yesterday, to me, is a very memorable film.
I gotta
I
say,
loved it.
You know, I'm always looking at my watch, not necessarily because I'm bored or whatever. I'm just conscious of the time,
course you
and
are.
I want to beat the crowd.
And you love watches.
I love watches, and I always take a flashlight before I go in, just like this, ladies and gentlemen, and I shine it on my flashlight.
What, you
so-
keep a flashlight with you? when
No,
you-
no, I do it before I leave.
Oh, okay.
I do this before I leave so that I set off the illuminata
Ah.
of the watch, and therefore it's going to now be good for the next 3 hours or
It's-
so.
really? Does
oh,
that?
yeah.
That's
Wants
cool.
last that long. Certain watches I have, I don't even have
See,
to do that.
back when I used to wear a watch, which is over 10 years ago, I used to have one that had a button on it. You click on it, the light comes on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, those are Casios. Casios do that.
Probably was a Casio.
Yeah, it was probably a cheap,
Well, I was never.
lousy watch that you were wearing.
Honestly, I didn't give a shit because
It doesn't matter.
It told the time.
Yeah.
I'm not into
That's
bling
all you
bling.
want. You know, Casios
I don't need to have hundreds of dollars on my arm.
I
you
totally
know?
hundreds of dollars. Look at Jay-Z wearing their $100,000
Yeah, exactly.
Rolex.
That would never be something I
you
would
know,
invest
I mean,
in.
literally, it's so strange. You know,
If you are paying rent for an apartment, but you have a watch that's thousands of dollars, you're doing something wrong, in my opinion. Spend
Not
the money,
necessarily. If you've got the
save
money,
it up for a down payment on the house instead of renting.
If you've got the money, in Japan, for example, apartments are so expensive.
They really
but rich people, for example, even though you're wealthy, you get your apartment. Now what else do you do? Most people embellish their homes, but because people are living in such small spaces in Japan, very, very rich people have nothing else to do. All they can do is buy cars
Well,
and
of course,
watches and...
No, they might have bought their apartment. They might not be renting.
Well, no, of course they bought their
that's what
apartment.
I'm saying, yeah.
No,
Well, that makes
absolutely.
sense. That
No,
I
they bought their
understand,
condo,
yeah.
but there's nothing else to spend their money on. They can't embellish the house because it's too small.
I know.
So, there's a great film by Akira Kurosawa in 1950s called High and Low.
Yeah.
And it's
you've
a
told me about
wonderful
this film
film.
before.
It's a wonderful film. It's about a guy who lives up on a hill in a big giant house in Japan, and he's being pursued to murder him. And at the end of the film, this one little man says, "You are high and I am low, and I hated you for it. I resented you for it." And it's like, and suddenly the rich man just goes, "Oh my God, my wealth meant nothing. It means nothing because look at these people here who struggle every day, and they're the same as I, and yet there's nothing they can do about their poverty." But anyway, so it is what it is. But
move on to the final film of the night.
We can do the final film.
It's another film that's available to watch at home. It is called Stockholm, and it is a retelling of the famous bank robbery in the 70s. I forget what year exactly it was, but it was in the 70s.
I think it's 74.
In Sweden, which we get the famous term Stockholm Syndrome for, which is a phenomenon where, in this particular situation, the hostages felt a kinship to their captors, those that were robbing the bank, and saw the police officers, the police negotiators, people that were trying to fix the situation as the aggressors. Ethan Hawke plays the main bank robber, who throughout the film forms a bond with the main captor, this female
Noomi
bank
Rapace,
clerk, played by the wonderful Swedish actress Noomi Rapace.
Girl in the Dragon Tattoo, the original.
Exactly, and in the film too, he asks one of his friends to get taken out of jail to help him, and in this film it's played by Mark Strong.
We just saw him Shazam.
He's in everything these days too.
He is in a lot of
He
films.
works just as much as Luke Evans does, it seems.
Exactly.
So this is a film about this bank robbery and the kind of kinship that forms between the few people that were held hostage in this famous bank robbery in the 70s that perplexed
it's a dog
the
day
world.
afternoon. They've
Dog day afternoon,
taken over
exactly.
they've taken over the bank.
Exactly.
They're asking for...
Oh yeah, here it is, 1973.
Oh, I thought it was 74.
Yeah,
Okay.
73.
Anyway,
so,
they've taken over the bank and they want to, get me a car, get me this, get me that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
I love the guy who plays the bank president in this.
Yeah, he was
He's very droll.
Yeah.
He's very distinguished. There's a great acting presence.
No,
of
there
this
is.
guy.
Yeah, I agree. I remember
He was
that, yeah.
wonderful.
He's very
I
good.
loved him.
It's a well-acted film.
It really is a well-acted film. I like this film very, very much.
Yeah.
I truly did. I didn't want to watch it, but Ethan Hawke, it comes blazing in like Amanda Plummer.
He was very captivating in this film.
Absolutely. I'm thinking Pulp Fiction, the opening.
Yes.
You mother.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's on the table with, who is she on the table with?
In that film with Tim Roth.
That's right. It just kind of had that kind of feel, and I enjoyed it very, very much. Mark Strong here in Hair. You never see Mark. With
Very
hair.
rarely, yeah.
Very rare.
Yeah.
It just kind of moved. It flowed. It went nicely along.
Noomi, I thought was good. She's very low key in this film.
I like her.
I like that scene where she's talking to her husband over the phone, and she's thinking she's not going to make it out of it. And she's talking about putting the kids to bed.
Well, she's
feed
also
them
thinking
dinner.
about how
and he
to
doesn't
bake.
know how to cook the dinner.
He doesn't know how to cook the salmon, so she says, well, you take it out, and, everyone's waiting for her. Well, you take the salmon out, and you put it in a pan, and then you have to put the butter in the pan, and he's going, oh, the butter.
Well, he was saying, listen, I'll just take them out to dinner. She's like, no, I want you to cook them the salmon.
I want you to cook the salmon because I took it out of the freezer, and I want you to make it. So, I mean, there's a heart to this film.
There is.
There's a simplicity to it. There's a great home body to the characters, and just how much of an inconvenience this whole thing is to them. And yet their lives are still hanging in the balance, so they have to address that and talk to their wives and husbands, etc. Well, specifically husbands by Numi.
Yeah.
I love Numi Rapace. You know, she could do anything.
These are some not really great quality shots of the real robbery.
Oh, really?
This is the guy here, one of the main character.
That's the Ethan Hawke guy.
Clark Olofsson. They changed the names for this movie for some
interesting.
reason.
Interesting.
But yeah, this is his friend that gets taken out of jail to come help him.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that almost
Eric
like a
something.
pseudo-gay kind of a relationship. It felt like it was.
No, in this film, Numi and Ethan Hawke seem to have a little bit of a romance.
Yeah, but he seems to have a little bit of a romance with the Mark Strong character also, who is the guy.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
I felt
vibe.
that. Oh, I got that vibe.
Here's Clark Olofsson again.
Yeah, there
Here's
you
his
go.
buddy.
This looks like Ethan Hawke, actually.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Younger Ethan.
But it's
Right
funny
there.
that, you know, years ago, I think I told you about this. I've done a bunch of those as an actor. These investigation, discovery, and travel channel
Correct,
shows.
yes.
They're all reenactments of famous things. One of them
I've seen some you did.
I did one was called Mysteries at the Monument, and they talk about a bunch of famous things. One of the episodes was all about the Stockholm syndrome.
Ah.
This particular case.
Wow.
So I played Ethan Hawke's character,
No
Clark
kidding.
Olofsson. Yeah, so
Was
we
it
did.
fun?
It was fun. Yeah, we were holding the girls hostage, and we were, doing this, And,
Did they have you in a bank or just a
no, it was
setup?
Well, here's the funny thing about that particular show. The Travel Channel, most of their shows, it's amazing. They all, for the most part, shoot at this place I want to say it was off of, not Long Island. It was somewhere near Long Island, Queens. It was near Queens.
Okay.
It was an area where they train all of the police, EMT, and Coast Guard.
Oh, really?
It's this massive campus
Wow.
where they have all these buildings,
And they have
old
access to this.
architecture. Yeah, architecture, and they have an agreement, I guess, to shoot there. I've shot 2 or 3 different shows for the Travel Channel there
Yeah.
at this place.
Interesting.
And they have different areas where they have different sets, but it's a real place.
Oh,
So
cool.
they had this one spot of the building that has this old jail cell, and that's where we shot it.
Oh, wow.
But I was there 2 years prior when I did something where I played Washington Roebling, who engineered the Brooklyn Bridge, and we were in this other part of this old building.
Oh, wow.
It was an old church. We were right above it. It was pretty cool. It's a
amazing.
fascinating place. It goes back
You
to.
haven't done any more of those.
I haven't done them in a few years. Yeah.
Have they have not called or?
Well, it's not like that. You submit. If they like you, they'll call you in.
Oh, I see.
I don't really sit there waiting for the phone to ring,
Right.
But I've worked for that particular production company 3 times, 3 different
Yeah.
things. But anyway, regardless, so I knew a lot about this story from that experience.
Okay.
I had to research the character and
Right.
the storyline a little bit.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I remember it was just very perplexing to the police. Like, why are these people seeing us as the threat? They were seeing the police as the threat, not their hostage keepers.
You
know?
mean the innocents? You mean the new?
Yeah, the people that were being held hostage.
Right.
They were very aggressive towards the police.
Well, there was a niceness. I hate to use that term, but there was just a camaraderie that they built up.
They built this
being
camaraderie
alone
over the
and
course of,
being
I guess,
in this captive
2, 3
environment.
days, whatever it
They're
was.
in a captive environment.
Yeah.
The Numi Rapace character is a mother of kids,
Yeah.
and we almost feel that there's a genuine. I think there was a sex. There
I
might
think
have been a.
there was
sex.
an implication that they
they
definitely
did.
made out. I don't know if they actually fornicated.
Well,
but
I kind of feel that they did
Maybe
because
they
at one
did, right?
particular point we see she's tucking in her blouse
maybe.
and she comes out as they're talking. He's talking to
Yeah.
Mark Strong here.
Sure,
etc.
maybe they did.
I know we're talking
I'm trying
about
to
things
remember.
that it's hard for you all to relate to because we've seen the film and you haven't, but. It's really quite
it's
a
worth
wonderful
checking
little.
out.
It is worth checking
you
out.
probably liked it more than I did. I
did. I
enjoyed
liked it.
I didn't have any problems with it, but I found myself when it ended. I was just like, I didn't really feel anything.
Okay.
I didn't get a lasting impression from it.
It's a performance movie.
It is. They're
first
both.
and foremost.
They're all 3 of them. The
I
main
love
cast are very
Numi.
good.
I love Numi.
Ethan
Mark
and Mark.
Strong was probably the weakest link, but I thought.
But he was good. He didn't
I
do
thought-
anything wrong.
No, he didn't do anything
Yeah.
wrong. It was just the way his character was embodied. There wasn't a lot of fleshing out there.
No.
He comes in later on in the show.
Yeah.
But Ethan is the key, and I think Ethan did a great job.
I thought he did a
carried
great job.
this.
As always, he's a very
I love Ethan
good
Hawke.
actor.
You know, we just saw him in that priest film,
First Reformed last year.
Reformed. Just love that movie.
His
Oh, my
daughter now
God.
is acting. She's just got her big break in Stranger Things.
Oh no! Really?
She's one of the main characters this season. She's the girl that works in the Sunday shop with the other guy. That's his daughter.
Oh wow!
Remember the guy with the sailor hat that works in ice cream parlor in the mall?
yeah.
The girl that he works
okay.
with, that's Ethan
I
Hawke's
like
daughter.
her.
She's very good.
She's very good.
Yeah, she's got a good character.
Yeah, by the way, the new Stranger Things is on Netflix.
Yeah, we'll
right
probably
now.
review it next week. We'll talk
Season
about it if
3.
you can finish
I
it.
doubt I'll finish
Oh,
it.
because I flew through it.
I'm too
But
busy
we can wait.
watching.
I know you're watching Nikita.
I'm watching Nikita, and I'm also watching. I'm more than halfway through Jessica Jones now.
Oh, okay.
Which is
season.
the new
last
final
Yeah.
of the trilogy seasons, and I love Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
You should really watch that show.
Yeah, I know. I heard it's
So
pretty
well
good.
done.
I haven't watched it,
Oh,
but I like
Kristen
her.
Ritter is
I like
she's
Kirsten
phenomenal.
Ritter. She's good.
She's so good. She really created a character here, and a real downtrodden alcoholic.
Yeah, she's a mess.
It's really a great
from what I
show.
understand.
She's not pregnant with someone's child in real life, but
She is, yeah.
she
Well, I
is
think she's
indeed.
married, isn't she?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if she is or
It
she
doesn't
isn't.
matter at all.
By the way,
Anyway.
just as a throwaway here, I just watched the entire 8 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Again, because you've seen it once before.
I saw them once before, but my wife had just passed away when I started watching them. I started in 2014 or so. She had just passed away.
The year before.
Literally the year before. So
You were in a fog.
I was in a bit of a fog. I watched the show, and when you're so overwhelmed by the 7 houses. There's actually 9 houses.
It's a lot. Yeah.
There's 9 houses of the Lannisters and Baratheon, and the
Starks,
list goes
yeah.
on and on and on. So,
Dorne.
but this time I absorbed every moment of it.
Which is cool.
It was so wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great show.
I cannot even begin.
It's a unique show.
I know so many people out there who have never watched Game of Thrones because
You should check it out.
you know something. Well, the world. It's a world that it's far away because it's a medieval thing. You've got to get in. It's Game of Thrones, swords and damsels in distress. But you've got great characters here. The great evil.
Yeah, it's
the
very-
evil is so evil. You've got
Very gritty.
magicians and just characters of just such great depth. And then to cap it off, 2 nights ago, I watched The Last Watch, which is an HBO-made 2-hour
Documentary. That was cool.
documentary.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, it's just about the last season.
And it's really mostly about the production crew, not necessarily all the stars.
It is
Yeah.
indeed. But
What a
something.
production.
Well, the thing that is always upsetting to me when you watch the making of anything is that you realize that everything is a mirage.
It is, yeah.
Everything is a mirage. All the things that you see, it's all green screen. It's all added in later. So
I know.
whatever you watch, you're watching people on a horse. They're not really in a forest. The forest is a green screen.
I know.
Everything is just it's wiped out. It kills. It's like stabbing a heart right
I
into
know.
the guts of Game of Thrones that you love and adore.
Yeah.
And seeing that it's just this
We
tiny
see the smoke and
little
mirrors,
thing.
You
You
the
see
curtain is
smoke-
pulled back.
It's horrible.
Hit
Pay
your
no
metaphor.
attention to the man
Yeah.
behind the curtain. And you can't help but
I
pay
know.
attention because, it's like the making of the Titanic for me, the James Cameron film.
I know, it's true.
You find out it's just a one-sided ship, and he,
I know.
he mirrored it. It's never actually in the water. It's in a tank, but it never moves, and
I know.
it's all bells and whistles. That's all movies are these
It's true.
days. There's no, you look at the making of the Fast and Furious films,
I know.
and Vin Diesel barely, he never moves in a car ever. It's just a car that's on a sliding
Yeah.
circular
green screen
track.
around it and all that, yeah.
Everything,
Yeah.
every little thing. It's amazing. But you've got stars, and they can't be afforded to be lost and
Yeah.
damaged in any way. And they're the main prop. They're the main
Mm-hmm.
money behind every film is the star. So, but back to this film, Stockholm. I totally endorse it. I loved it. I thought I didn't love it, but it's a solid 3-star film for me out of 4, and I just thought it was very watchable, and I think the Numi Rapace character got me.
She was she was excellent.
She
She's
was
always
so
good. I like
and,
her a
yeah,
lot.
just so
Yeah.
heartfelt. I felt her tears.
I agree.
I felt her anguish and her horror at possibly losing her children.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, she's falling in love. She's in kind of a loveless marriage.
A little bit, yeah.
A marriage just there to raise these children
Mm-hmm.
with, etc. And I like the ambiguous. There's an ending there that we, and I'm not giving anything away. This is a documented case, but
Yeah, it is, yeah.
it's kind of ambiguous as to where does she go? Does she go back to her kids, or does she
Yeah,
go
yeah,
off
yeah.
with the Ethan Hawke character? I found it a little gem in
Cool.
the woodwork. I
Yeah,
did.
cool. I think it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't come away with too much from it, but I enjoyed it nevertheless. So
Okay.
But anyway, let's move on because
Well,
it's
it is getting late here.
Well,
True.
real quick, just touch on a couple things that are
Coming out.
Actually, are out as of today on home
The
video.
Professor comes out today.
Professor just came out today. It's a film that didn't make it to theaters, but it looks cool with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. It's got a good cast. Then we have also coming out, we have, what's the next one here? Here we go. We have the 4K Ultra Blu-ray of Waterworld, which...
What's her name from
Gene Triplehorn.
Basic Instinct.
And
we're Dennis Hopper over there.
This is kind of a cult classic in a way.
Yeah, it's not
great,
film.
but it's a guilty pleasure, big time.
Well, it's a 3-hour film.
No, it's not that long.
It's
the Postman is 3 hours.
No. This film is coming out with a new cut.
Oh,
it's
okay.
a 3-hour cut.
And then we have Pet Sematary. This is really rushed to home video because it was only out in April. May, 3 months, that's average.
That's average.
It was in theaters probably
Sure.
about a month.
May, June,
Yeah.
July, 3 months.
But those are the
that's
three
about right.
or four big things that are coming out on video, the three things.
There you go. Well, there's another one there, isn't there?
No, just those three.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just did the poster
Yeah,
and the
why'd you-
Blu-ray picture of Waterworld.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I found it.
Interesting.
And then we have opening this week at the theater. We have some interesting stuff here.
Okay.
We have Stuber, which looks like fun.
It does.
It's an Uber comedy.
Yeah, it looks
Cop
like,
takes the Uber to try to do some
Hooper,
things. Yeah.
the old Tom Hanks, Hooper.
Turner and Hooch, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Crawl, which is a Gator movie, which
Oh,
kind of
no.
looks not that great, but maybe I'll see
yeah,
it.
Director of The Hills Have Eyes, and producer Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi produced
Well,
it.
it
yeah.
might be
Could be interesting.
Could be fun.
This movie was supposed to come out a while ago. Jesse Eisenberg, The Art of Self-Defense. It's going to be limited release. It's probably going to go straight to streaming
I
platforms.
do love Imogene Poots right there. She's just wonderful.
This looks interesting. Sort of Trust. Mark Maron. Could be interesting. It's a family
Is this
drama.
like a British film, possibly?
No,
or-
it's not. It's American.
Okay.
This looks kind of cool. Called Trespass.
What's that noise?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Velcro on my
Well,
pants.
stop it.
I didn't even realize I was doing
I
it.
thought my dogs were chewing on
No.
plastic or something.
This looks cool. It's a home invasion film called Trespassers.
Oh, well, there you go.
This is an Asian family. I guess it's a comedy drama about this grandmother is giving. She's basically going to die. It's all about the
Okay.
family not telling her
All
she's
right.
going to die.
So this
Could be
is kind
interesting.
of Crazy Rich Asians.
Kind of. This is all. Most of that's going to be on streaming platforms.
Oh, okay.
But this and Crawl are the big releases in theaters.
Crawl is in theaters?
That's it. Playing everywhere.
Really?
It's a big release.
Wow.
I was surprised, to be honest with
I'm
you.
shocked too.
Yeah.
It looks like a direct to paper.
Yeah, it does, but it's getting a big push. I guess the producers have faith that it's going to do well in theaters. So.
And a lot of gator deaths in the news lately too.
Yeah.
There was a
Yeah.
gator in Florida that just
Saw
was
that.
found with a 16-year-old corpse.
Crazy.
A
Yeah.
kid who was 16.
Disturbing.
And
Gators are horrifying creatures.
Well, they're pretty slow.
Yeah.
It's like
No, they can move quick.
well, they
You ever
can,
seen them run
but
on land?
You can still outrun
Fast.
them pretty easy.
I don't
But
know.
yeah,
I wouldn't want to try.
well, I would try. I could outrun a gator.
All right, I'd
Yeah.
like to see that.
Well, you better keep them moving and don't stand
Yeah.
still, because if the skeeters don't get you, then the gators will.
Yes. But that's our show tonight, guys.
There you go. That is our show.
We hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. We had a good show tonight.
We did. I thought
think
we
we've
did.
over an hour tonight. I
Yeah,
think.
well, over an hour easily.
Definitely.
More like an hour and.
A little
15.
long. We've been
I
going
know.
slower. We've been a little shorter lately, but
Well, there you go.
whatever.
Well,
Well,
we
we
were
were off last
We
week.
were off last week, so
We have a lot to discuss.
we enjoy the film banter.
We do.
Hence,
We hope you enjoy it.
Hence, we hope that the 2 or 3 of you left, who have watched the entire show,
Yes.
enjoy it. But it's really a kick, and I wish we had a phone-in platform.
Well,
I would love that so
I know.
much. If
Well, the
people could
stream.
call
That
in.
was the fun about the streaming is that we get the calls, but the
Very
technology
true.
wasn't great when we were on that
I
platform.
know, but it's just wonderful. I'll
fun.
never forget we had, you remember the first question we ever got?
Was it like, how did you guys meet or something?
Exactly.
Yeah, which we've covered
Some
on the show
girl
at least 3 or
called
4
in.
times.
That was on that ridiculous
Vid chat.
Which
is still there, but now it's like meet and greet live, and it's mostly
Oh, is it?
focuses. Now that whole platform is
Okay.
about celebrities trying to like draw money for
draw
charity.
money for charities. I know Rosaria Dawson
She's
was
on
there.
there,
quite a
still
bit.
there. Last time I
Is
checked, she was still
No
on
kidding.
there.
And she's with
Dating Cory Booker now.
Cory Booker.
Yeah, that's not gonna last.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think so.
She said, "Here's my boo.
Yeah,
Here's my boo."
for now.
And he said, and she's my boo.
He doesn't have a chance in hell to get into the White House.
No, he doesn't.
No.
It's a shame.
I don't care for him
I
that
saw
much
that
anyway.
Ted, what's his name, the billionaire who impeached Trump, he's joining the race.
Ted who? I don't think I know.
His name is it Ted or Todd or anyway he's always been impeach Trump. He's a billionaire, and he's been going after.
So now we have another guy joining the race.
Well, he's joining, and one of the guys, the guy who kind of looked like a young, he kind of looks like a young. Well, he was one of the younger guys. He just dropped out.
Oh,
there
really?
were 20 people.
Yeah. Well, the youngest ones there are Beto O'Rourke, and then Pete Buttigieg.
No, well, Pete's young.
And then there's a young guy, Yang, from
Z,
California.
begins with a Z, I believe. Anyway, he just dropped out 2 days ago. He just said, I don't have the money, and I can't get the dollars. And it's a lot of bucks.
By this time next year, it's going to be half the amount of people. Easy.
Well, sure.
Easy.
Absolutely.
Better be.
I just hope maybe the Republicans change their mind, and if they get somebody else.
What's his name?
Trump,
he has not decided if he's going to. He might. He's been hinting that he might do it. Is Kasich from Ohio said he might run?
Yeah, I like him.
And then what's his name might run?
The guy, he's the governor.
Yeah, and then I think what's his name was thinking about running too. From he used to be, I think, governor of Massachusetts. Bill Weld? He might be running again because he ran alongside Gary Johnson on the Independent
if
Libertarian
the Republicans
Party.
have any brains at all, they'll dump Trump.
But
they won't, because he's their wild card, and I think they're going to play it.
And they care more about party than they do country, sadly enough. And they're throwing us under the bus for the sake of keeping control, but at what stake?
They're
selling their
stake of a
souls.
lunatic and a dementia-ridden madman who is just destroying every
this country for decades to come.
Oh my God! No, it can be easily straightened out.
Some of the stuff that they're doing, they're putting clauses in it that they can't be fixed. They're putting things in the bills, like for example, some of the tax things they changed apparently have provisions in it that they can't be changed. Can't be rolled back.
Well, I heard that about the tax, the from the corporations.
Yeah, that whole nonsense.
32%. That's forever.
But can an executive order then supersede that by somebody else?
I think so.
I hope so.
I think so.
Because otherwise, this is a nonsense.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's terrible. But anyway, we're
just
rambling.
impose new taxes. We are rambling.
But
all right, folks.
We'll see you guys next week for episode 124 and many more films.
With many more films.
Enjoy.
Good night.
Good night.
Louie, where are you?
Road. Yeah, we're going down. Yeah, let's just